Welcome back to another session of Stelmo's Rants and Raves. I'm Stelmo, and here we go. So, I'm reading an article on alexjoneslive.com, which is Alex Jones' new platform. I think if I was in his shoes, I would have probably started a new platform much quicker than he has, and but I'm sure he has high-priced lawyers giving him advice. And anyway, I wish him luck with his new site. And I want to comment a little bit here. Here's his headline: Feds spending millions on HIV healthcare for illegal aliens in Oklahoma. Whistleblower. So, I've read this article, perused it pretty good. And once again, we have a whistleblower who was an employee of a private company that was alarmed at what they were seeing. And so they decided to come forward. And basically what they're saying is that 10% of the people who are being treated for HIV, and I assume perhaps AIDS as well, are illegal aliens, and they go to great steps to hide their identities. Let me quote what Alex is saying. I'm going to go 2 paragraphs here. The staff takes great pride in protecting these people from federal oversight, the whistleblower stated. Many of these people don't have IDs, don't speak English, don't have documents, don't have social security numbers, and are open about how they came to the U.S. Then he goes on, and the article says some staffers have even quit due to frustration about the program being used by so many illegal aliens. People in this country have got to wake up. One party out there, and everyone knows what party it is being funded by the Soros organization. It used to be George Soros. Now I believe he's too far gone, and it's being run by his son, Alex. But this organization, they make their money on trading currencies, and they would love to see the dollar collapse. And that's what they're working on. That is what they are fervently working on. And they know that what's happening in this country is unsustainable. Many of our politicians come out and agree it's unsustainable, but of course none of our politicians are willing to do anything about it because they don't want to be, they're afraid that they're going to be blamed for the hard times that this country would have to go through if we tried to fix our debt problem. But see, I think it's so far gone. So much money has been lost to fraud, and it's just pumping the dollars out there. Decades ago, I decided to get a Florida real estate license, and you had to take a class, 2-week class, and then pass the state exam. And I remember they were teaching us about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and both of these are very closely tied to the real estate market. And that's why we were being taught them. And I remember one of the things that they told us. They said, as the government borrows more and more money, there will be less available for the private sector, causing interest rates to go up. Well, our elected officials, I believe most of them know this or suspect it, but nobody seems to be willing to take the lead and do something about it, because we got to fix these problems. If we don't fix these problems, We're doomed. I don't think most people understand, and I'm going to keep repeating this. If the dollar collapses, you can kiss the power goodbye. Learn to live without power. There'll be millions dead. And so, unfortunately, there is a group of wealthy individuals out there who believe that the planet is grossly overpopulated, and they'd like to see billions of people leave the planet. And their preferred way for these people to leave the planet is to make them available for morticians' services. And unfortunately, far too many people are going to die. Far too many people that aren't paying attention. They could care less what's going on with our government, and that's a sad reality. And these people better wake up, because they are not going to like where we are going to end up. That much I am really, really confident of. There's so many trillions of dollars in debt. We continue to borrow. And the reality is, it's bad what's happening with our budget. But unfortunately, Congress has a history of every year augmenting the budget, especially if there's, let's say, a hurricane or an earthquake or something. They're out pumping more money into it, more money we don't have. And this is, I believe, it's starting to bite us now. And as time goes on, that everyone is going to see more and more of the result of what basically the citizenry is allowed to happen. Years ago, again, I saw many times groups of people along the highway with their signs, handmade signs, and I came to find out that this was people who were upset with our spending. And so it was a grassroots, oh boy, spit it out, Kenneth, grassroots movement. Became known as the Tea Party. And the name came from the Boston Tea Party, where people objected to paying too much in taxes. Well, unfortunately, we're not paying enough in taxes, not enough to cover our spending. Everyone, or I should say governments at every level, are borrowing money, and they just are not going to be able to pay it back. You take some of these cities that are now losing some of their most affluent populations. They're never going to pay back the massive debt that they owe. And it's going to, at some point, the whole system is going to collapse. And I just don't think, well, I know that Americans, they go about their daily routine. They don't care less about what's happening with government, other than they know which party they're going to support. And, sometimes there are some voters, no doubt, who are pay attention to the issues and vote accordingly, but not enough to matter. I remember, I guess now it's about 4 years ago, when Mitch McConnell was up for re-election, and they tried to primary him, but of course he won. And they were interviewing people and said, "Oh, he brings all the money back to the state. Yeah, we got to keep him." So the people have proven time and time again here. Now, Mitch McConnell just happens to be married to a Chinese woman. And generally, that shouldn't mean too much, except many times it seems that McConnell is voting in a way that would placate and make the Chinese happy. And that, of course, makes you wonder what exactly is going on here. But yet they put him back in office, and now the guy can barely stand at a lectern without passing out. And certainly age was an issue in his case, his last election. But people, they don't care. Let's just put him back in office. And it doesn't matter if they're a Democrat or Republican. If they're unaware of the issues. And that's what I see happening here. In Oklahoma, I don't know who or what representatives they have that have oversight over these programs, but they're there. And the ones that seek the office, for whatever reason, they never seem to know the problems and what they have oversight over. It takes somebody who is not part of that system to rat them out. And that's just, it's shameful that it's that way, and it's going to create our doom. And there's not much we can do about it other than hopefully talk to more people and get more people really interested in seeing what is going on in this country. Then and only then is there any chance for them to figure out a way to fix the problems. And with that, let me close in saying I hope to get to the bottom of this. I hope some people go to jail. I'm not too optimistic about that, because all we hear about is thousands and thousands of crimes. And for every, let's say, 1,000 crimes, there's like 0.5 people get arrested. It's pitiful. It's shameful. And, well, it's a sorry world we live in. And I wish you all the best. Stay safe. It gets crazier by the day. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.